Hi. As always, the workaholic, shopaholic, sexaholic is an aspect of my personality, the three facets to my personality. And these three facets come out every once in a while. All of the time, it's the workaholic that predominates. Um, and I hope this is true of everybody, particularly men. I know it's all feminist, and I'm a feminist, but with family, with the coming of children, etc., it's good to fall behind a little at work. I've fallen quite a bit behind, but abreast of my area and also writing and artwork, and done a lot of endeavors in writing and artwork. And so that's stood me in good stead, so to speak. And so I wish it for everybody. Anyways, I will begin with Sexaholic because I just looked at I discovered through my own anatomy, upper anatomy, there must be nerves. This thought had occurred to me that there must be nerves in the vagina and the penis. And nerves are blue, and that's an aspect that has to be studied. And I looked up and had suggested this to a young doctor whom I know to perform a surgery on a cadaver, and um, uncover the nerves or find proof, whatever, and get familiar with stitching, suture work. But I found the paper on the web, and it discusses the nerves in the penis. And I will just go to it and say the spongy tissue of the penis, together with the arteries and veins, functionally becomes an erectile system because these structures are surrounded by layers of collagenous and elastic fibers capable to withstand blood pressure and to stretch. And I will show you and you can see the spongy, and I think that this is all blue. This I've followed Picasso's blue room technique, but this is called Eve's apple. It's a man with an aroused penis. And I was inspired by a painting by a British painter, Birth of Sin, but the penis there is flaccid. Normal, how it looks normally, flaccid and lifeless. Whereas in times of lovemaking act, it springs into action, and all the arteries and the veins start to function and build the erectile aspect of the penis. Anyways, here the penile nerves. Um, I think the penile nerves may be all located here, enter the ilioinguinal nerves, the perineal nerves, the dorsal penile nerve, and the pudendal nerves. And the parasympathetic and sympathetic fibers run together with the pudendal nerves. And this is all here, and all these nerves. And there's a deep pelvic region and upper pelvic region, which is all fascinating to a doctor. And I would recommend, but it would be embarrassing for female doctors also because uh, vice versa for male doctors when women have too many examinations of their sexual organs, unless you're pregnant, of course, that justifies it. You have to go. It's done. But they're very. I had a male doctor. He was very professional. He didn't try anything fresh with me. And I remember my family doctor when he examined my inner vagina for the regular exam for cancerous growth or some ovarian cancer. Uh, he heard me, but he was very professional. So you mustn't get phased out. Anyway, um, so all the penile nerves and the what is it? The upper penis, the deeper penis. Oh my God! The deeper it goes, the more it does to me. The shopaholic. The shopaholic. Who is more of a shopaholic than Santa Claus. I think even the richest of billionaires don't come close to Santa Claus. He has to go shopping for all these children's toys who write to him and grant requests all around. And I wish if he was richer, he would grant my request to become richer too. But I'm afraid he falls woefully short of being the richest man on earth, Santa Claus. But then he will fulfill my requests, wishes soon, I hope, because I deserve to be paid for my work. And but I have to mention, make note of the Bertie Wooster, a P.G. Wodehouse character. P.G. Wodehouse was a British man who spent the 1950s till he since the 19 who was in the USA during the 1950s and continued to stay on until he died not so long ago, maybe some years back. He's a fascinatingly funny writer. It's all the writing in um, the language he uses and the plots, all these intricate plots which mean nothing. It's just so cleverly done. And he has a character, Bertie Wooster, who's a bachelor and who has a butler. Remember the Seinfeld episode, The Butler? But this butler is actually a living legend because he's Jeeves, famous. You must have heard of Jeeves. And Bertie Wooster goes to Cannes and buys pink shirts and pink jackets, which Jeeves disapproves of. I mean, it's quite against British code of conduct to wear pink shirts and pink jackets. Again, Seinfeld must have picked this up from there because George ends up, no, I think Jerry ends up wearing a pink with white jacket. On the other side, it's white, but on this side, it's pink with white. So these angles they've picked up from there are Americans, Canadians, and Americans dream of the most unique things without having to be prompted by the British. Uh, so, um, so Bertie Wooster is a character. I would urge shopaholics to go shopping for pink shirts, red shirts. Well, if they're the raptor shirts, red shirts would be the very thing. And the workaholic in me. The workaholic in me. This is a painting I made. It's a floral walk, flowery walkway, and it reflects my degrees. My undergraduate degree was in India, Bangalore University, India, but my master's, my MNG and MAC from the University of Toronto, my graduation had, and this just says I worked with both places afterwards. I worked in both the places, and um, um, and I've said that the Enchanté Madame, the professor says, of the academe, the academe circle of select circle of academe, and um, um, my thesis topics were to do with fascinating things, which elude most people's reason of what is exciting, but it was exciting then, and lab work was what I love to do. But my references in lab work are obsolete, so I'm looking at other uh, uh, avenues of work. And my two theses, my undergraduate thesis dealt with the design thesis of the manufacture of acetaldehyde, where I did material and energy balances. My friends were moral support. They came with me and they paid their share of the thesis and etc. But the work was done by me, and I designed a reactor and a distillation column, and even drew to scale the engineering diagrams, and that was one engineering thesis I worked at. I had a supervisor. There was a supervisor who checked it once it was done, and he both the supervisors um, evaluated my thesis and certified it. Here, I went through a defense, and I was grilled. It was L-dopa production of using immobilized tyrosinase, and L-dopa is a drug for Parkinson's disease. It still is after all these years. My MH thesis I defended in January 1997, and worked on the previous semester holding a part-time job, and um, it's still the drug. So a cost-effective way. And last year I proved using a pressure cooker, pressure reactor, how easy it is to make L-dopa, because using, I forget what, a catalyst was, they were all from health food stores. You need tyrosine, and it has to be catalyzed by tyrosinase enzyme. And you add a sorbate because it is it's an I need to look at all this. I don't remember. And anyways, so that was all fun. And then my master's thesis was the degradation of phenol, and phenol had to be degraded, and it had to be mm, disposed of completely. It's an EPA hazardous chemical, and you need to look it up. But what fascinates me is the medical aspect of men and women. I would like to say, but that's not true. I like mathematics and engineering and chemistry and physics. And one aspect which I ended up doing recently is calculating, looking at Einstein's equations, etc. Some fascinating things regarding space travel. And I urge you to come up with the right equation. There's not the right equation on the web as to how a rocket actually gets out of the Earth's gravitational atmosphere. It's very difficult. But I urge you to think of this and do your own experiment. Send something to the space station. The space station would love to have communication from Earth because they get lonely out there. And we should send letters, prettily done. And I hope you um, um, with the workaholic, shopaholic, sexaholic in you, uh, end up sending stuff to the International Space Station. But that's my project. I have to send the first letter. After that, you can follow it. Okay? I thought a nice package, but it would get intercepted by aliens, by an alien civilization. What would they do? They'd eat all my goodies. No, so it's not a good idea. So let the workaholic, the shopaholic, and the sexaholic come forth in your personality.